Welcome to Health, Wellbeing and Lifestyle, where experts in the field inform, educate and inspire the community to be healthier, more balanced and live the lifestyle they love. Our first guest today is breathwork and life coach Christine Hart-Savage, and the topic we'll be discussing is feeling lost and the soul connection. Welcome, Christine.
It's lovely to be back, Megan. Thank you.
Christine, how would you define feeling lost for our viewers?
That is one of my favourite subjects because I spent most of my life feeling lost, or this feeling of yearning. I was always looking for something else. When I was a child, I used to drive my parents nuts because I asked them, who was I before I was born? Where do we go when we die? I don't know. There's got to be something else, and they didn't know how to answer these questions. So I tended to suppress them. But I've always yearned, always thought about life since I was very little. There has to be something else. We can't just appear on earth and then disappear. There has to be more to it. And I spent my life really thinking about this and yearning for this other connection, and I didn't even know what I was looking for. But I did find it through my breakdown, through starting to have to turn within myself. I started to open up another part to myself. But one of my earlier experiences, a girlfriend of mine asked me to a particular meditation group when I was about 24, and I'd never been. And we had our little children in a creche there, and we went in to this particular place, and I was a bit confronted by it because there were some people there in like orange gowns and shaved heads, and I thought, what is going on here? And I was really quite daunted by it because I didn't understand that world. So we went in and we were sitting on a wooden floor, and there was this particular young woman taking the class, and she was leading us through this, what I called a relaxation. So firstly, she said to us, look, lay down now. And I laid down, and as soon as I laid down and I was listening to her voice, I started to relax, and suddenly there was a big tunnel, and I was moving through this tunnel, and I felt like I was moving very, very fast, but there was no resistance or anything like wind or anything like that, but moving fast. And when I looked up, there was this blazing light at the top, and I became frightened because I thought, oh, what happens when I go through the end of that tunnel? Will I die? And as soon as I had that thought, bang, it disappeared. And as soon as I relaxed again, it appeared again, and I was travelling through this tunnel. Now, I didn't tell anybody about this experience because I thought it was very weird. So the next week we went back, and the following week we were going through these same type of exercise she was leading us through, and we were sitting cross-legged on the floor, and suddenly, this is going to sound weird, but it's the truth. I had this little, like an umbilical cord coming out of my own belly button with a tiny little embryo floating in the air. And I thought, oh my goodness, I opened my eyes, it was there. I closed my eyes and it was there. And it just stayed with me the whole time. And when we finished the session, we were speaking to, they were swamis, I found out later. We were speaking to the swamis, and I told them about my two experiences. And they said, that's not fair. We've been meditating for years and we haven't had those experiences. I didn't ever go back because I was frightened of what I experienced at that time. So going forward, when I went through my really dark night of the soul, my challenging time in my relationship, I had difficulties with my children, and my marriage broke up, and I had a breakdown. I went back into learning meditation and discovering and uncovering that part of myself. And lo and behold, back came this, what I now know is the tube of light that comes down around you, which forms this incredible tunnel that is part of us. It's a tunnel of light, and we're all connected to this. But I had a lot of experiences that happened that I did not understand, Megan. And I'm sure there's our viewers out there that are having experiences off and on that they don't understand either, or they may be yearning for that connection. So the emptiness I was feeling suddenly started to fill and became a feeling of connection, a feeling of belonging that I had never felt before I went through these experiences. So the yearning started to disappear, the emptiness started to disappear. And I think that spiritual connection, that soul connection as I call it, fills that emptiness inside. And what I've realised is that we are a part of something much greater and much more magnificent than we realise. I started to realise there's so much more to us than we know. And this has been a continuous journey over the last 35 years of me really unfolding these deeper layers, because we're eternal. There's these eternal layers of wisdom and knowledge that is inside us. And it keeps opening and opening and opening to this wonderful, wonderful knowledge, this incredible wisdom once it is integrated into our body.
Christine, if the viewers and I are interested in connecting with our soul, what do you recommend?
Well, definitely to start meditating daily, because in that harmony and peace that you eventually get to, at first you won't experience that. You'll experience a busy mind, but we have to stick with it. Eventually you'll have pockets of sinking into yourself and experiencing a lovely calm and peace and harmony. When we're in that, this energy starts to flow through us. So that when we do enough of that, we start to develop in a different way. We expand, our consciousness expands, our wisdom expands. The other thing I'd like to touch on here, if I may, Megan, is that I had this wake-up call also that I wasn't necessarily fixed. We're not fixed. That I had the ability and the intelligence we're all given to look at who I'm choosing to be in life. I didn't have to be how I was. I could choose it. I could choose my thoughts. I could choose the way I wanted to feel, and I could choose my actions and my delivery in life and lead my life rather than being just blown around by life itself, because every day we could do that and just react and start looking within, because everything we need is inside us.
Christine, that's such fantastic information. If you'd like to know more about feeling lost in the soul connection and Christine Hart-Savage, please go to her webpage on our website, healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au. And after the break, we'll have another interesting guest with another interesting topic.